This is gonna be quite strange in comparison to my typical content, but I've been known to do strange things. I found this book in my mom's house, and when I read it, it really resonated. And it's a children's book, but I'm gonna read it to you. And I'm going to share all these special little notes that I put in it for a very special part of myself. It's called Lambert, the Sheepish Lion. I found this picture on a very special day, and I thought it was crazy because I had recently painted that. And I had drawn this. I don't know, there was some really crazy synchronicities. In any event. Lambert, the Sheepish Lion. Mr. Stork was having a busy night. He had to deliver bundles of babies to all kinds of places. As he flew over the trees, Mr. Stork was glad he had just one bundle left. Early in the morning, Mr. Stork came at last to a sheep meadow. The sheep were still asleep. This must be the place, thought Mr. Stork. The address on his bundle said, "Baby lambs, deliver to sheep meadow." Mr. Stork flipped his wings up and swooped down. He made a perfect landing. 6 mother sheep were waiting in a row. Out of the sack tumbled 5 baby lambs. "Here's your home," Mr. Stork told them. "Just pick out the sheep you like best," said Mr. Stork. "She will be your mother." Soon each little lamb had found a warm, woolly mother. But there was one mother sheep who had no little lamb. A tear fell from her eye. "Oh dear," said Mr. Stork. "I thought I had enough lambs to go around." He picked up the sack and shook it. Out tumbled one more baby. "You don't look like a lamb," said the stork. He took out his spectacles and checked his order book. "Why, you must be Lambert, the lion cub," he said. So cute. And there's so much blue and white and gold, which is another synchronicity I've noticed. But by then, Lambert had found the lonely mother sheep. Lambert snuggled up beside her. She did not look lonely anymore. "Excuse me, Miss Sheep," said Mr. Stork. "There is a mistake. That is a lion cub. I will just take him anyway. He will not bother you again." Or take him away. Yeah. Mrs. Sheep was furious. Lambert was her baby. No one was going to take him away. Mrs. Sheep rammed her big head, pow, right into Mr. Stork. Mr. Stork flew into the air, spectacles and all. That was enough for him. He got out of that sheep meadow just as fast as he could flap his wings. "Silly old stork," said Mrs. Sheep, as she licked Lambert's little mane. Lambert purred like a kitten. The other mothers were licking their babies too. "Now run and play," said Mrs. Sheep, and off went Lambert. Lambert watched the lambs playing on the grass. They were having fun. They jumped and leaped about. No stiff, wobbly legs. "Baa, baa," they said. Lambert opened his mouth to say baa. He wanted to play too, but all that came out was a great big meow. The lambs thought that meow was a very funny sound for a lamb to make. They laughed and laughed at Lambert. "How silly he looks," said one lamb. "His feet are too big. His tail is too long," said another. Poor Lambert, he felt very sad. His feet were too big. His tail was too long. He was the silliest looking lamb in the meadow. Lambert's mother came to comfort him. "Never mind, dear," she said. "Just play with the lambs and do what they do. You will grow up to be a fine sheep." Lambert felt much better. He went off to play. But every time Lambert tried to leap like a lamb, he tripped over his big feet and landed on his head. And every time he tried to butt heads with another lamb, the lamb would ram pow into him. After a while, Lambert had a very sore head. "Never mind, dear," said his mother. "You are growing faster than all the others." Lambert was growing fast. Every day he was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But as Lambert grew bigger, he grew more and more sheepish. He never acted angry when the young sheep laughed at him. Lambert just grinned his sheepish grin and pretended not to care. But Lambert did care. He was tired of being butted. He was tired of looking silly. Most of all, he was tired of being different. One night, while all the sheep were sleeping, Lambert woke up. He pricked up his ears. A wolf was creeping slowly toward the sheep meadow. It was growling a mean, hungry growl. The wolf was coming to get the sheep. Lambert was terrified. Lambert hid behind his mother. He did not feel brave enough to fight that wolf. But the sheep were not brave either. They were as sheepish as sheep can be. When they heard the wolf coming, all the sheep ran into the woods. They hid behind the trees. Lambert was surprised. Even his mother, who had butted Mr. Stork, was trembling now. Suddenly, something went snap inside. He forgot how sheepish he had become. He forgot that he was afraid. He even forgot to try and say "Bah!" He opened his mouth and roared. Then he dashed after the wolf. But Lambert did not forget everything he had learned in the sheep meadow. He rammed his big head, pow, right into the wolf. The wolf went flying over the edge of a cliff. In all his sheep hunting days, the wolf had never before seen a lion. But one lion was enough for him. The wolf never bothered the sheep again. All the sheep gathered around Lambert. They were not laughing at him now. Lambert was a great hero. "My Lambert is a mighty lion," said Mrs. Sheep. Did you hear him roar? Lambert purred happily, but it was a mighty purr, a lion's purr. And this part might not make sense to everyone, but I just feel like some of us are born asleep and some of us aren't. I think that maybe there's a purpose to that. And then at the back of this book, I had a different intention for this, but whatever. I put this drawing that I did in 2021, my first ever tattoo shop. And I found this baby picture of me. And I just thought that was so interesting. How I was like Raggedy Ann, you know? I wrote this little note for, well, I had a different intention for this book. But if you got something out of this, go ahead and like, comment. I know it's different from my usual content, but